And distinguished members of the Council. On behalf of the government of the Republic of South Sudan, I wish to express our gratitude to this Council for their continued engagement with our country in respects to our peace process. We note of the Council's decision to renew the sanctions regime, and we reaffirm our commitments to constructive dialogue and cooperation with the United Nations and member states. We also acknowledge the steadfast support of the African Union, the IGAD, and the broader international community. We remain grateful that South Sudan continues to be in your thoughts and practical efforts. Your support has and will continue to support our journey towards peace and stability. We also acknowledge and appreciate the African group and the members of the Council, especially the governments of China, Russia, and Pakistan, for their principal position, solidarity, and consistent engagement during the negotiation process. Your commitment to fairness and your recognition of the importance of nationally driven solutions have not gone unnoticed. Mr. President, while we welcome certain aspects of the resolution, we must express our deep disappointment with the Council's decision to exclude the key proposal meant to enhance and protect the peace process. Our proposal aimed to reinforce the role of the National Unified Forces in implementing the Chapter 2 of the revised agreement, which is the central to the peace architect we are working tirelessly to implement. Unfortunately, despite our efforts and consultations, we believe the outcome is inconsistent with the Council's steadfast support for peace benchmarks in South Sudan. Allow me to also raise a broader and equally urgent point. The lifting of the sanctions and the arms embargo is not only a matter of national security or sovereignty, but also a matter of economic opportunity and dignity. The cost of sanction is being borne not only by the government, but ordinary citizens. These measures create barriers to growth, delay development, discourages foreign investment, and leave the state vulnerable to non-state actors and outlaws. Just a few days ago, I received a message from a young South Sudanese entrepreneur who expressed their frustration that the continued existence of the sanction discourages foreign investors from engaging with his businesses. And I quote, "Thank you so much for taking the time to respond to me despite your job at the UN being so demanding, especially at this crucial time when the people who claim to have understood our problems more than us, the South Sudanese, are getting ready to decide how we should live our lives." As a concerned person with no political affiliation, I believe there needs to be a report on the negative effects of the arms embargo on the people of South Sudan. I am just an ordinary citizen trying my best to look after my country by trying so hard to get investors to invest in our country, but it's not easy. I have a family to provide for, no job, no sufficient capital to even support my small business scale. My government's efforts and ability to support small business scales owners have been crippled by the sanctions, and none of the commercial banks in the country is giving loans to South Sudanese, but insist that they're giving loans to foreign businesses in our country, claiming South Sudan is under sanctions and they don't want to risk dealing with us. What are we going to do in order to develop instead of just working hard to eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner? End of quotes. His words echoes the concerns of millions of young South Sudanese whose aspirations are constrained not by the conflict, but by isolation. Sanctions are often presented as a tool of accountability, but also risk becoming a barrier to opportunities. When young people who represent the future of our country feel the international community is closing doors instead of opening them, it becomes a significant concern. Mr. President, distinguished members of the Council, South Sudan has made progress, but we recognize there's a lot more to be done. and we will continue to push forward in the path of peace and development. Let it be clear that we are not asking for a blank check. We are asking for a fair opportunity and a balanced approach that supports the efforts of those who are working for peace and economic renewal. Let us not forget that sustainable peace cannot exist without livelihoods, without hope, and without opportunities. The government of the Republic of South Sudan remains committed to peace, reforms, and cooperation. But we reiterate our call for a more balanced approach that supports national ownership, encourages economic revitalization, and recognizes the broader human costs of sanctions. We urge the Council to remain engaged, but also to listen. Listen to the voices of the people, to support homegrown solutions, and to ensure that international tools meant to encourage peace do not accidentally delay it. I thank you for your kind attention.
I thank the Permanent Representative of South Sudan for a statement. There are no more names